We're at the Fort Scott National Historic Site and a controlled burn today as they're burning off some of the native grasses. If you tap your screen, you can see more details. They'll burn off these tall grasses here. Director Carl Brenner tells us they do the spring burn 3 years and then a fall burn. Encouraging the native species to continue growing. There's a small piece of property here. They said they're burning about 5 acres today. It's on the northeast side of the property. They have a burn line just beyond this. It's burning towards. They've already made that burn line. If you're traveling on 69 highway, you're seeing a lot of smoke coming from this area. Great, thank you. If you haven't been to the Fort Scott Historic Site, it's fascinating. Fort Scott was the edge of the Indian frontier 1853, they closed it as the frontier grew further west. So these are buildings here that actually the government sold in 1855 as the fort had closed. And it became a part of the town. Now it's a National Historic Site. They have park rangers here that tell amazing stories of the structures and the history. We were talking to Director Carl Brenner earlier about the native grassland that you're looking at here. This is really tall grass. He said this is what it was when they first came here to start the fort. He said there were no trees. It was all grassland. And this burn off helps to get rid of those invasive species of plants. The big thing they're missing, he says, are the bison and large animals to aerate the soil. If you could share this, we'd appreciate it. Let others know. jln News first, keeping up to date with what's happening where you live. A controlled burn here today in Fort Scott at the National Park here, Fort Scott National Historic Site. Fort Scott Fire Department are on standby in case it gets out of hand, but also all of these fire workers obviously know what they're doing. This is called a prescribed burn. Sometimes people call them controlled burns, but it's a prescribed burn to help the growth. He said they'll burn about 5 acres here today. It's a small portion on the northeast corner, right along 69 Highway. You can see the vehicles in the background there. Prescribed burn like this, humidity has a lot to do with it. And they said it's just right humidity to not let it get out of control today. Even though I'm like 30 feet back, this is hot. And the wind is behind us. The Fort Scott Historic Site. Right in the heart of downtown Fort Scott. They have their annual camping event, which is coming up, I believe, in March. Camp like it's 1845 again. I don't know if I'm... No RVs? What? Hotel? Where? Thanks for sharing this story. Appreciate it. All right. KOAM News Now. I'm Shannon Becker in Fort Scott. And a prescribed burn at the Fort Scott National Historic Site here.